sponsored by 666bet.com.
This is Kugan Cassis for IFL TV in association with MACKLIN's Gym Marbella. We've been in Dublin today at the final press conference for return of the Mac. We're on our way home.
The studio is being lit by your iPhone.
I just want to say, it is. The lighting has come via an iPhone 6 today.
This is big time. This is high quality production at its best.
Absolutely. We'll do what you've got to do.
Excuse me that I'm not looking at you because I'm concentrating fully on my driving.
Do not look at me.
No, certainly not.
Very entertaining, interesting Dublin presser. This is like the third one now this year that hasn't failed to entertain, shall we say. Let's start with Fitz and Spike today. There was a push, there was a kiss, there was a slap. You were right in the middle of it. What did you make of it all?
This is a fight I've been looking forward to since, remember the first time we went over there, August the 30th. You know, you've seen a lot of rivalries lately and animosity and so forth, and it makes the fight. You know, I'm not an advocate of forged press conferences, or I'm not even an advocate of, you know, I tried to tell the boys today, behave yourself, and they were okay. Listen, there was a bit of a shove and everything. Spike took a little bit of a liberty, giving him a little kiss on the cheek, but you know, there's got to be something. Something's got to be on the line. You know, but it's got to mean something that's going to make people put their heart and soul into the fight, and that's what makes a great fight. And I think you've got that between Spike and Fitz. So a couple more days now, and the talking's done, and they're going to get a chance to settle the score. One man's going to win, one man's going to lose, unless it's a draw. But you know, it's a good fight, especially for Ireland. Obviously, Spike's from Cork, Fitz is from Dublin. He's got a great crowd coming. It's going to be a great atmosphere, and yeah, it's highly charged, and just got to keep it together at the weigh-in, nothing silly, and then they can get in the ring and do the business on Saturday night.
So Matthew Macklin has quite been honest about his career chances of obviously getting another world title shot. He kind of accepts, by the sounds of it, this is make or break for him now. He has to deliver against Highland.
He has to beat Highland.
Yeah.
You know, people talk about odds in boxing. How Highland is a 6-7 to 1 shot is beyond me. I mean, he's the one coming into this fight with the freshness. He's the one coming into this fight with the form. He's the one coming into this fight with the confidence. You know, this is a very, very close fight, and you know, a lot of it depends what Matthew's got left in the tank and how much desire he's got. You know, I do think boxing in front of his home fans in Ireland is going to mean a lot to him. He looked great at the press conference. He's looked really focused. Joe Gallagher texted me on Monday night and said Matthew's in great shape, ready to go. And I think he's going to show what he's got left at world level. And the answer is how much has he got left? And I believe he's still got plenty to give. The great thing about Matthew is he's developed a name for himself in many different markets. You know, obviously everyone knows him in Ireland and England and so forth. People know him in Germany, obviously, because he had a great fight with Felix Sturm. But he's very popular in America. He's had a number of big fights on HBO. You know, was very entertaining. Gave a great account of himself in the Martinez fight. The Golovkin fight was tough, as it always is, against him. But he's had a lot of good fights in America, and I think, you know, opportunities can come from Matthew home and away. But I think if we can build something special in Ireland, you know, it gives us the chance to make something happen over here. Obviously, you've got Andy Lee fighting Korobov in December. I think win or lose, that's still a fight that can happen in 2015. But you know, it's all about Saturday night, because one thing's for sure, it's going to be a great fight. Highland fights one way, high tempo, high work rate, throws loads of punches, and he's going to stand in front of Matthew Macklin. And that's the kind of fight that we know over the years that Matthew Macklin likes. It's just a case of what he has left in the tank, and I believe he has petrol left, fuel left in the tank, and I believe he's got plenty of desire, and we'll find out on Saturday. But it's a great fight, official eliminator for the WBC middleweight title. Highland is the WBC international champion, so it's going to be, I'm really excited about the fight.
We know that Miguel Cotto holds the WBC middleweight title. What is the most realistic route for Matthew to actually win the world title, in your opinion? Is it the WBC, or is it the
might
Lee
get a shot.
route?
I mean, look, you know, obviously we're doing a lot with Al Heyman at the moment, and the Jermaine Taylor fight is a fight that I know Matthew would love. Of course, we're not going into this fight, you with a one route strategy of fighting Miguel Cotto. If Cotto fights Alvarez, that's a huge fight. It's going to be plenty of fun in the negotiations for that fight. But listen, that's a wonderful fight, and if the Alvarez fight doesn't happen, I think Matthew's a great candidate for Miguel Cotto in America in Madison Square Gardens. But you have to keep your options open. Of course, Jermaine Taylor, the winner of Korobov against Lee, he doesn't have to fight for a world title next. Of course, that's what he wants. But it's about staying active. He's been so inactive over the years. That's why you saw in Germany, he was so rusty. He looked quite poor. But he's got that out of his system now. And now he's boxing, frequently again. And I want to make sure that continues. So, if there's not a world title fight in the spring, let's get him out again. Let's box in Birmingham or Dublin again. But he's got to stay active. And, I think he'll do that now.
Ian Timms, who was at the press conference today, obviously disappointed that the fight with Sweeney fell through. He's fighting Paul Drago.
Paul Drago, yeah, Ivan's brother.
Yeah, and but that could be a fight made.
Yeah, he's undefeated, and the Tim Sweeney fight didn't mean a lot to. It meant a lot to like the hardcore Irish boxing community. I was really excited about that fight. Sweeney punctured his lung last week, so no one could do anything about it. But Tim's fight's on, and he's got a really tough fight, arguably as tough as the Sweeney fight. So he'll remain on the bill.
Just running through the bill quickly, obviously Declan Geraghty in action as well.
Yeah, we saw some good banter, Declan Geraghty and John Joe. I've said to them that the winner will get the last spot in Prize Fighter. It's a great opportunity for them. A little bit of banter today, a little bit of hype between the two of them. And I think that's going to be a lively fight. 4 rounds, and they'll just go hammer and tong. And like I said, the winner will get their shot in Prize Fighter.
Patrick Hyland, also his fight with John Simpson falling through. He's now fighting.
Yeah, Spaniard. We're just clarifying the opponent at the moment. He'll be out. It's quite a tough fight, I think, for him. The guy we're trying to bring over. John Joe Nevin will make his debut in Ireland. Obviously, bringing a big crowd down. Hugely successful amateur fighter. Cal Yafai has got an interesting fight actually against Everth Brasino. She fought for the world title twice, getting on a little bit, but plenty of experience, very, very tough. Just looking to bring Cal through now. He's defending his IBF Intercontinental title. Just looking to slide him up the ratings. I think Paul Butler's going to fight for that world title, and we want to get ourselves in a mandatory position. And hopefully, in 3, 4, 5 months we can do that, and we can fight a final eliminator. And I think it would be a great fight, Yafai against Butler. I know Yafai beat him in the amateurs, but that's the amateurs. Paul Butler's looked great as a pro, really exciting fighter. And I think he needs that big fight to give him some profile. And I think Yafai would be a great fight to do that, especially in those smaller weights. It's not very often you get a chance of a big domestic fight, a super flight. So hopefully that's a fight that can be made in the future.
Anthony Crolla also on the bill. Yeah,
Anthony Crolla. On the lookout for a big fight for him, and you might get some news on him next week. Just a tick over, really. We talk about these tick over fights, don't we? And people don't tend to like them. So I'm probably gonna put him on before we go live and just show the highlights, because there's a lot of competitive fights on the bill tomorrow night, and we always debate it, don't we, about putting the names on rather than sometimes the more closely matched fight. And it's difficult because obviously the larger proportion of the audience would like to see Anthony Crolla fight, and some would like just to see 2 guys you don't know but in a very close fight. And I think we might favour towards the Declan Geraghty against John Joe O'Neill fight, 2 undefeated fighters fighting for a slot in Prize Fighter. So we'll wait and see. We're just finalising his opponent. He was added late to the bill, so there's a bit of shuffling around to do. A couple of other decent little fights on the bill. Kofi Yates, part of the MGM Fagan, against Wasim Fagan, who's a bit of a cult hero over in Ireland, coming towards the end of his career, but certainly going to give it a go. And Kofi's coming off, so I think some indifferent performances, looking to get back on track. Davey Maguire, another member of the MGM Marbella team. I think there's 13 fights on the bill. I'm not sure how we're going to get them all in, but I I think as far as the televised fights are concerned, I think we'll go Kalya fight, John Joe Nevin, probably Geraghty against O'Neill, John Joe Nevin, did I say him? And then Spike against Fitz, and then the big Macklin fight.
The Friday weigh-in should be interesting, regardless.
Yeah, I think everyone's just got to hold it together, you know, and holding it together is important, you know, and, you know, talking about Bellew against Cleverly, I don't know, most people might have seen the Talk Sport stuff today with Bellew and Bunce, and things are getting, you know, I sent out a tweet last night just saying that there's a lot on the line, you know, and people talk about, oh, there's no world title on the line. Alright, it's a world title eliminator, 2 intercontinental belts, but this is about more than that. There's a lot at stake for these guys, and I'm so close obviously to both camps. Things are very, very tense, and you know, we had the sports psychologist on recently on Sky Sports that Tony had his opinions on, but things are getting very heated, and next week is going to be lively, and this is what I'm saying, there's a lot on the line. People don't realise, and these guys are fighting for a living. They're going in front of, you know, next week 10,000 people screaming and shouting and hollering. It's a tough game, it's a tough business, and the mental side is important. And you know, when you talk about the weigh-in on Friday, just got to keep it calm. I always say in the press conferences, we've got a code of conduct to follow here. Whatever board of control or whatever boxing union you're under or you're representing, we have a code of conduct, and you know, the fighting's for the ring, and afterwards there should be a shake of the hands. I can't guarantee that next Saturday in Liverpool, but you know, it's I'm very excited about not just Saturday, but obviously the Saturday after. It's going to be a great show.
We obviously know you added Bradley Saunders to the card and an 8-rounder. Also, Feigen Butz has been added to the card as well. The German prospect is very highly thought of. I know you've been saying for a little while that you're looking to add one more. Is that still the case?
Yeah, I'm working on that. I mean, I want to, you know, I want to make sure it's decent quality, and I'm not just going to put a fight on for the sake of it. So we've got to try and get the right fight, and probably tonight we'll make a call on whether we'll make that happen. We don't really have the space, but we'll make it happen if it's the right fight. So I'll give you an update on that probably at the weigh-in.
So if the card is to go out as it is, you're satisfied with?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you know, we took a lot of flack from this, and it's changed completely. We're still getting a little bit of stick, but I think genuinely people now are excited. We've got gloves are off tonight, 11 PM Sky Sports 1. If this gets out in time, probably not.
It will.
Well, it will.
Yeah.
Bellew Cleverly's a huge fight. You know, you got DeGale's in a great fight. Groves is on the bill, who's, you know, obviously made his name in the biggest fight in British boxing history. You got Joshua against Sprott. You got 2 world title fights in Quigg against Ataki and McDonnell against Ramos. You got Callum Smith in a wonderful fight. You got Feigen Butz. You got young Bradley Saunders. And you know, it's just a huge night, and I'm happy. Sky happy, and you know, I believe you're going to get value for money. I believe it's going to be a wonderful show and a wonderful main event. That there is a lot on the line, and you know, Tony's done a lot of talking, and he's got to back it up next Saturday. And Nathan is very calm. He's in great shape. He's very confident. Interesting to see the response for that thing that I tweeted last night. You know, who's your money on effectively, Bellew or Cleverly? Most went with Cleverly, and you know, I think I can't call it. You know, people will say to me, how do you see it going? I just don't know. I mean, you'd have to favour Tony with his power, and you'd have to favour Nathan with his work rate. So if it goes the distance, will Nathan win? You know, if it doesn't go the distance, will Tony win? And I think that's, if you're a betting man, you perhaps go Bellew by stoppage or Cleverly on points. But you know, Nathan soaked up a lot of Tony's best work in the first fight. You know, obviously now they're heavier and so forth, and I don't know, it's such a tough fight to call, but it's a quality fight. Two very, very good fighters. And you know, people talk about, oh well, they lost for world titles. Yeah, one lost to Kovalev and one lost to Stevenson. Now this is elite level.
We saw what Kovalev was the other day.
Yeah, he's a freak. Yeah. You know, and I think that victory against Hopkins made, you know, I say the Cleverly defeat looked good, because defeat is very difficult to make you look good, but it just showed that he was just in with an exceptional fighter, as Tony was, and Tony was in Canada. So I believe they can both win world titles at cruiserweight, and I still think that, win or lose, that the winner's definitely going to go on to fight for a cruiserweight world title straight after. The loser, I think, in time can rebuild and go for a title as well. But you know, it's going to be very, very tense next week in Liverpool, and you know, I hope people will be part of it.
So Eddie, all kicks off in Wales next week with Nathan Cleverly's public workout.
Yeah, we've got a big week planned live on Sky Sports News throughout the week. We've got the Nathan Cleverly open public workout on the Monday. We've got the Tony Bellew public workout on the Tuesday. On Wednesday we'll have the undercard press conferences with Quigg, McDonnell, Joshua, Saunders, Callum Smith, James DeGale, George Groves on the Wednesday in Liverpool. Thursday the final press conference for Cleverly v Bellew, and then Friday the big weigh-in, which will be in St George's Hall. We're going to have fan zone down there again, recreate a little bit of the Froch Groves feel to that weigh-in, take a lot of our top fighters down there. Fans can come down and meet the fighters and just get involved. You know, it's a big event, and the phones have been going absolutely mental for people wanting tickets. Honestly, could have sold probably 30,000. I wish there was.
Do you wish you'd gone to somewhere else?
It was impossible, of course. The only arenas that were available for the remainder of the year were the Echo Arena and the Sheffield Arena. Sheffield Arena holds about, we've got 10 in the Echo. Sheffield Arena holds 11, but it didn't feel like it was a Sheffield fight. You know, obviously without Kel, I would have loved to have gone to the MEN, and with the names we've added, we would have sold it out easy. The fighters probably would have ordered another 4,000 or 5,000 tickets between them. So that's frustrating. But then again, it's sold out in 48 hours, and you know, it drives people to watch it on TV. So you know, it's great to be sold out, but we do wish we had a bigger arena. But you know, it was the only arena that we could find big enough. That's my old man. Hold on. How you doing?
New York. I'm just going to see Stephen Espinosa now, so then I'm flying back tonight. What's happening with you?
You're actually live on. I'm being interviewed in the car with Coogan, so and you're on hands-free, right. So don't say anything too controversial.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I enjoyed watching the YouTube clip of the slap, the kiss, and the whatever.
I know,
that was fun.
Lovely. All fun and games.
Yeah, well, it's good, okay.
Oh, I'll call you tonight,
yeah? Stop earlier, so, yeah, there's lots happening. I'll call you later.
Alright, see you later.
Bye.
What did you catch here? I've just finished my meeting with Stephen Espinosa.
Yeah.
What's that about? Out in New York, swanning around.
Oh, is that where is that? Yeah. Alright, well listen, we've got Dublin this week, obviously.
We've got people working on the ground all over the world, Coogie.
Indeed.
You know.
We're representing in Dublin today.
Well, we're representing Dublin, but we don't stop wherever we are. We're grafting, and that's the difference. You know.
Right, updates. Froch, what on earth is going on?
Do you know what? People are saying that they're getting the hump, Coog, that you're asking this question in every interview that we do.
What, about Froch?
Yeah.
What?
Someone tweeted me the other day and said it.
Why wouldn't I ask about it?
Yeah, but you do ask it in every interview, so I'm going to tell you that if you want an update on Carl Froch, watch the last interview we did, because it's exactly the same. We're waiting on Mr. Heyman, and we're waiting on Mr. Aram to come back to us with news on Chavez. Everybody wants the fight. Let's just make it happen.
I haven't interviewed you for over a week properly.
Yeah, right, well, you still ask me the same question.
Well, something else could have happened.
We're in the same position we were a week ago.
Oh, that's all you had to say, not your sarky bollocks and your fucking fur coat. Big up your fur coat.
It's cold.
Okay, so your last remaining show of the year is Prize Fighter.
Correct.
You obviously, there's 2 spots left. One of them will be filled by the winner of the fight in Dublin this week. Between
the other one will announce, I think, probably tomorrow, or I'll tell you on Friday, just finalising that. And then looking at next year, it's absolutely...
How many dates have you got for next year?
We've got 20 dates. Plus, if there are any pay-per-views, that's additional on top as well.
20 dates?
Yeah.
How many dates did you have this year?
20.
So,
well, with the 2 pay-per-view, 22, I think. 20, yeah, might be a little bit less.
And how many of them are sort of penciled in?
For next year,
Yes.
well, I'll tell you. January the 23rd will be in Manchester, which is a Friday night.
Yep.
We'll announce that show next week. January the 31st will be at the O2. Joshua, Mitchell, both in 2 great fights. And Ryder, hopefully in a great fight as well. And Boylan against Hibbert. Hibbert against Goodjohn. And great fight for Boylan, which I will announce as soon as we've got the email from the board approving. And then I'm just talking to Calla, finalising the details for Smith Abraham. The issue we got at the moment is, and obviously, you know, people realise this is not sometimes you have no say in these issues, is they want to go on February 21st, which is obviously the night of Golovkin against Murray as well. So in an ideal world, we'd like to keep them separate, but unfortunately, that's the date that German TV have given Calla, and if Paul Smith wants to fight Arthur Abraham, that's the date it'll happen. And the answer is Paul Smith, of course, wants to fight Arthur Abraham. So we're finalising terms, still not done, but we hope to get that fight made in the next 7 days. That could be February the 21st. We've got to go to Leeds, which could be February the 14th. March the 7th, we're looking to be in Sheffield with Kell Brook. And March the 28th, we're looking to go back to Manchester. And which could be Quigg, which could be De Gale in a world title, which could be Crawler, etc, etc. And April the 4th looks like we'll be in Newcastle with Bradley Saunders, Anthony Joshua, etc, etc. So that's about where we're up to at the moment. I want to throw in Birmingham. I think we'll get there in April as well. So we're planning quite deep into the year already. I'd like to get a lot of those shows on sale prior to Christmas, because I think that it's a great Christmas present, tickets, and we're looking to put a couple of Christmas packages together, whereby if you buy VIPs, you get a nice little package. They come in Matchroom boxing with all the boys on, little happy Christmas. Make a nice little present, Cook.
Nice. You mentioned about the 21st.
Mm-hmm.
If Smith Abraham is made for that date,
Yeah.
going with Murray and Golovkin,
Mm-hmm.
we had this situation recently where we had 3
shows,
shows one night and everything, and
Yeah.
it's frustrating because the weekend after there was nothing on.
Of course.
And
But-
I spoke to Mick Hennessy. I don't know if you see it. I did an interview with Mick
Yeah.
Hennessy the other day, and I said, well, the same sort of thing I'd say to you or Frank. Just why can't you just go?
Well, I saw his interview, and I mean, if he thinks that it benefits anyone putting a show up against someone else, it's absolute rubbish. Sometimes, and if you look at, I mean, all situations are different, but if you look at that situation particularly, I will have a conversation with Calla that will say, listen, you couldn't make it February the 14th, could you? Because Sky actually prefer that date, and actually taking away the Golovkin Murray fight, Sky preferred the 14th to the 21st anyway. We get given a list of dates by Sky where Saturday night boxing works for them. Obviously, for us, it's more beneficial to be an international weekend or an FA Cup weekend where there's no Premier League football. But we get given a list of dates, and we try and make as many shows on those dates as possible. Sometimes we can't. February the 14th is actually a date that Sky would like. 21st was okay. But I said to Calla, look, no chance of February the 14th. And the answer was... Sorry, mate. The answer was, sorry, mate, the date that Sat1 have given us is February 21st, and we're not really in a position with Paul Smith where you can go back and say, sorry, unless you make it the 14th, the fight's not happening, because we're a challenger, and we're a voluntary challenger. So, of course, in an ideal world, nothing would clash because it affects everyone's viewing figures. But if they do clash, obviously you've got to do your best as a promoter to make sure that you get as much of the share of the audience as possible. It's not ideal, but get over it.
Well, okay. Well, I said, in a perfect world, I'm sure a lot of things would be different anyway. But
Of course, listen, in a perfect world, I can't really say that, but there's lots of things that would happen in a perfect world, and all I see at the moment is a lot of people moaning. People have got to understand this is a game. This is business. This is a game. you can't let it stress you out. I see too many people getting stressed out, too many people worrying too much. Just relax, enjoy yourself, do your best. It's all you can ever do in life. Do your best. You know, don't get stressed out. It's not good for you. Stress is not good. But, you know, things change. You know, just because things ain't running your way at the moment, it's just like a game of poker. Sometimes the cards go your way, sometimes they don't. It all changes. And I always say to you in interviews, yeah, we're flying at the moment, yeah, we're not, but we're not taking anything for granted, and we're ready. We're ready for the downtime, we're ready for the uptime. But all we do is we graft 120% every day. And I believe we're smarter and we're better than everybody else. But we'll have good times and we'll have bad times, just like you do in any form of life. But just remember, and we go back to an interview I did with you, 6, 7, it's all a game, it's all the world's a stage. William Shakespeare, all the world's a stage. It means we're all part of a little drama series, that's all. You know,
Mere players.
We are, but don't stress because someone's doing better than you or someone's doing worse than you. Just enjoy it, go with it, live with the highs, live with the lows. You know, and everybody's, you know, I go back to British boxing's in a great place. You know, we come in, we ruffled some feathers, and we gave everyone a kick up the arse. Great, everyone's doing better. You know, some people have lost control, some people have more control, but the shows are improving. You know, the fighters are in bigger fights. There's more boxing on TV than there ever was before. Boxing's becoming cool again. But when you get the opportunity to showcase boxing, dream big. Show me a packed arena, show me that music, show me that atmosphere. Now, don't show me empty seats, don't show me no atmosphere. Make it happen, that's our job as a promoter. Because sometimes when you get a chance to showcase your product, your sport, in front of an audience, especially a big audience, don't balls it up. You know, and I think promoters are starting to realise that they've got to up their game. And, you know, this is a different market now than it was 5 years ago, especially a different market than it was 10 or 20 years ago. You know, I talk about if my old man was promoting now, he wouldn't have a clue. You know, what to deliver for this audience, in my opinion. He knows how to make fights. But things change, you know, and I think people are embracing what's happening in boxing at the moment. But people are very opinionated. Sometimes they slag me, sometimes they give me a pat on the back. It doesn't matter. I want opinions, I want passion from fans, and that's great. You know, and going on that podcast the other week, I loved it because I got slated. I gave my opinion, we had some banter, we had 2 hours. I love boxing, I love to talk boxing. I guarantee you that every time you turn on the TV and you watch one of my shows, they look the nuts. And we've got loads of work to do. We're not taking anything for granted. We've got so much work to do to get boxing to where I want it to be. Sometimes we'll do things good, sometimes we'll do things bad. But we're here to stay. We're here for the game. We love the game. And listen, bring the competition, bring the new channels, bring the new promoters. You know, for me, keep growing the game. Let's go to other markets. Let's crack America. Let's work with Calla in Germany. Let's, you know, just keep growing every day. Keep growing and keep working your nuts off. That's all you can ever do. Anyway, we're nearly home. Got any points you want to say?
No, I just want to add. I listened to that whole podcast from Boxing and so on. I thought it was very good. Yes, I thought some of the things were a little bit, you know.
Well, they had a plan to go for me.
Yeah.
But I knew that was going to happen.
It was good. It was good. Listen.
The thing is that when you're telling the truth, or when you've got an opinion that you believe is real, I can have these conversations. I've got nothing to hide. You know, and the answer is, do you think pay-per-view is on November 22nd is justified? My answer is yes. Your answer may be no, or someone else's answer might be maybe. But you know, I'm happy to talk about it. I'm never shirk away from a decision. And I think one thing that makes us different is that we are accessible to people like that, and we do answer questions, and we have no problem in being upfront and being honest. And I'll just tell you how it is. I'd rather be like that, you know. And you can either like me or dislike me, or you know, agree with what I say or disagree with what. It doesn't matter. You know, it's not about me. It's about the fights. But it doesn't. Of course, listen. In an ideal world, everybody wants to be loved, don't they? You know, it'd be great if all the fans loved what we were doing, but they're not going to, because they've all got opinions, and some like it, some dislike it. You know. But what I will say is I'm seeing more activity on Twitter. I'm seeing more people with opinions. I'm seeing more people enter the game in terms of fans, and that's great. You know, I mean, you've seen, you know, our Twitter views, you know, your YouTube views, sorry, for our stuff. What is it? Dublin, it's trebling. You know, your views is doubling, trebling all the time. You're getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Boxing's getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
It certainly is, and long may it continue.
Absolutely. But it will continue while there's the rivalry, whilst there's the competition. So that's why you want people, and don't moan about it, don't sulk about it, just get on with it and work harder. You know, and bring me more competition, bring me more channels, you know, and that's what's going to make you put on more shows. And you know, people talk about the rivalry, whether it's between us and Frank Warren or Mick Hennessy, or all that's doing is spurring you on to do more. Now people talk about, oh yeah, but it'll stop fights being made between. Those fights are never going to get made anyway. Anyone who's working on with their own channel or their own broadcaster or a broadcaster wants to ensure that their best fighters remain on that channel. It's very simple. You know.
Does the BT Sport thing concern you when they get the Champions League? The drive possibly away from Sky Sports?
No, listen, Sky are huge. They've got huge subscription numbers. You know, the great thing about Sky is they give us a commitment. They give us a solid base to build a stable of fighters and to progress them in a way needed to make them as good as they can be. And by that I mean regular dates. You know, they're giving us 20 dates plus a year. I can't get that with any other broadcaster. And you know, yes, Channel 5 might deliver more numbers. The profile of the audience is not as good, in my opinion. And they don't give you the hype and the base of a Sky Sports News or a promotion interlocking other channels, football, cricket, rugby. You know, so I believe we're in the best place possible, and fighters believe we're in the best place possible, because my phone does not stop ringing with fighters wanting to join me. You know, we announced Bradley Saunders this week. We've got probably half a dozen fighters to probably announce before the end of the year, and we will keep going. You know, and we'll keep going, and no doubt we'll announce a new deal soon with Sky. We want to remain with them, and we're already talking about extending our deal with them. So, you know, we're in a great position. But again, we want other broadcasters in. Please make boxing as big as we can, because I believe that we're the best out there, and we're always going to win. But things get tough, things get good, things get hard, things get bad. Just roll with it. Don't sulk, don't moan. You know, I see too many people going, oh, him, or that, or don't worry about it. Get on with it. Roll your sleeves up and get stuck in.
Alright, Eddie Hearn, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV. Insightful
It's a good
as ever.
day. Roll on Saturday.
Roll on Saturday, we'll roll on Friday first. I'm excited to see this weigh-in.
Yeah.
Hope it goes off, I'm not going to
You
lie.
were just after the views, aren't you?
I'm a view
I hope it goes off, I'm not going to lie. What sort of line
I
is that?
know, but you know, listen, as long as it's not going a bit over the top, I thought it's borderline today. You know.
Well, I didn't expect the kiss, did you?
Oh, I did definitely not
I
expect
know,
the
it was
kids.
an interesting move. Interesting tactic.
Interesting move indeed. Derek has already did that once, I believe. Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Alright,
mate.
Thanks for talking to IFL TV. We'll catch up with you after the weigh-in on Friday for Return of the Mac.
Catch you soon.
See you soon.